lottie, rock them party. It's the Mardi Gras, I'm on these. Didn't you know who cut them up? And I still put them back together. My style develop, it's way beyond you. You try to put all your obstacle in. I'm hot stepping, baby with the fire. What's that do? I think it's Mercury on the FTD. Yeah, I got the wings on my hat and the wings on my ankle. I'm flying physical at that. Alright, we're at the Eldon Mountain here in Flagstaff. If you watched earlier on my Sedona Diaries series here in Flagstaff, we went and checked out Buffalo Park and we could see San Francisco peaks. Get some good lighting. There we go. Get some good lighting. Well, this is further east outside of downtown. And actually, I was at the library chilling. Been doing a lot of hounding on job hunting and starting to get callbacks and everything. I'm tired of filling out applications, to be frank. It becomes I don't know the word for it, not at ease, and you just need to get away. So I came to the library, was tired of the library, and the library's on 4th Street here in Flagstaff, and 4th Street looks like it runs right into the mountains. So I just took 4th Street, made my way up to some trails, and basically just freestyled it. Here we go. Just like I'm doing some pictures. I call them video pictures, or breakdown mode video, where you take the big and make little small. But anyway, we're here at Eldon. Let's see how good we can. Ooh, almost fell. I'm balancing on some rocks here. I get a little shaky. So basically, I'm about to fill you in on what's been going on Flagstaff. We're just doing a little sightseeing from the set. We're gonna be right over there, where you see my book bag. You know what I mean? Just give you the full panoramics of where we at chilling. We're gonna be right there. I like that shot right there anyways. We got the double tree thing going. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing that concerns me. Let me show you something. And it's this hole right here. I don't know what the hell is that. It's a little stick covering it. Let's get a little closer. But there's something going on right there that I really don't want to know about, really. I'm glad that stick is over there so I could keep a count of what's going on. But it's only that far away. Let's see, from there to there. So you see me peeping out to the side, that's where I'm at. Let's do this. Alright, welcome to another episode of Easy Stars Variety Society, the Sedona Diaries version. Most of the Sedona Diary version is taking place in Flagstaff, Arizona. Reason being is, again, essentially this is a documentation of a spiritual journey on a minimal budget, right? So I started out with 500. I'm down to $1, but I'm rocking it though, to tell you the truth. So last I was with you, we were already in Flagstaff, and we were doing a tour of Buffalo Park. We were walking the trails in Buffalo Park. But that was just really a showcase of Buffalo Park and give you a little documentation into the scenery here in Flagstaff. It's a mountain town. Sedona's kind of a mountain town, but elevation-wise from sea level, it's more in the canyon. And then you go up to Flagstaff, which is more in the mountain with the San Francisco peaks, higher, above sea level. So again, recap. This thing is called the Sedona Diaries for a reason. Sedona was the first point of attack and the reason for making a move, period, from Raleigh. So they didn't have any homeless shelters because I knew I was going to run out of money, and I, planned ahead so that I won't be caught in a panic situation. So I am now staying in the Flagstaff. It's called Flagstaff Shelter Services. For filling out applications, it's 4185 East. I'm not telling all the rest, just in case I need to be invisible. Now, all right. I'm trying to find a good place to lead off. We left Sedona, caught another $30 shuttle. It's $30 each way from Flagstaff to Sedona, and Sedona to back to Flagstaff. Found out later on a better way of going about it is Craigslist. Use Craigslist to just catch a ride and be willing to chip in gas, go to the community. I'm not sure exactly where to go, but if you know how to get around Craigslist, you can find community. Just look, and you'll find a way to get to the section that will take care of the traveling, so to speak, from Sedona to Flagstaff. Sedona and Flagstaff have the same Craigslist page, so it shouldn't be hard to find and hard to do. You can get there probably $10 instead of $30 like I took. There's also another shuttle. If you go online, there's another shuttle. It seemed like more of the official shuttle. It was $25, but the one I went, the lady advertising her shuttle bus said she was a divine energy mother, and I kind of just felt like I'll pay the extra $5 for that, the extra $10 for that. I could ask her some divine level questions, kind of blend it in with my technique. I figured she'd be more on my path, of getting information the way I need to get it. So, yeah, I'm coming back from Sedona. Kind of sad because I really didn't, not sad, but kind of just like incomplete because it was only really, I got one day to go explore. And I think it'd take a good month to get it in Sedona. At least 3 days to put a nice size impression, a good fraction of an impression. But I did my thing. I was satisfied. Climbed to the mountain of Sugarloaf Butte, top of Sugarloaf Butte, climbed to the summit. Moving on, we're driving back, so I'm pressing her. I'm like, all right, so what's good places to go, look for work? My field is customer service. She told me health food stores, and she knew, we had a little conversation. She knew I was on the spiritual side, so I wouldn't just take any old thing. So she was telling me she did tell me the Purina dog food factory is here in Flagstaff. I'm not really trying to get in with it like that. There's also, what is the name of this shoe? Decker Adventure Shoes, for like hiking shoes and everything, because hiking is big around here. They hire. Instead of Whole Foods like we have back east, they have what they call New Frontiers. I put in an application there. But what I did for the most part, what seemed to be snapping for me for the most part, was going to Craigslist and looking for front desk service. There's no call centers, which is kind of like my trademark, my signature job. I can just slide in easy if it's doing the right thing. They don't. They have a call center for Decker Shoes, but their season doesn't start up to August. So because of the winter, so couldn't mess with that. So front desk, hosts, cashier, that's what is available for me to try to get into. Some assistant manager positions like Family Dollar. So mostly, I guess, to put it out there, so Craigslist is one way I look for employment. Another way I look is, my mom put me down with this, is you go to job sites online. Career Builders. I'm on Career Builders. I'm on Indeed.com, and I'm on monsterjob.com. And you put your resume out there, you put a profile out there. Half the time the profile is what they use to fill out the application, and all you gotta do is, like, that job look good, do you want to apply? Click a couple buttons, maybe type a couple things. You don't have to fill out the whole application. That's why I like that style. It's kind of like ready-made, and you could they can match their need with your resume. Also, one day I find it good not just to be online. One day, I had a friend here named Mark. He left. He's a traveler, and I'm gonna try to get an interview with him because he's traveled from Kentucky all the way to, he's in California right now, hitchhiking, some bus, but he's not really had no job or anything. He just traveled on his own will, his own, like, freely from Kentucky. And he camping, he did a lot of camping and walking. I met him here. He was one of my first friends here in Flagstaff. So he had a good vibe, raising the level of the conversation a little. He had a good vibe, I had a good vibe. So I used to hang with him, and a lot of good vibe stuff would happen. So we walking one day, and it's this guy named Jacob. I'll introduce you to new people. A guy named Jacob. He's a Latino. I forget where he's originally from. Utah. I think he's originally from Utah. Real cool cat. Real fast, quick-witted cat. You know what I'm saying? And he the first one on the chicks, too, on a sneak tip. But not so sneaky. But he'll get slide in quick. But anyways, that's my man Jacob. And he was out. He's an initiator. So he went out, and he was like, yeah, what you guys doing today? The day before, I was just picturing myself working, picturing myself filling out applications, and I'm about to go fill out applications. So boom, naturally, and Mark was on the same topic, and I think Mark just wanted to go through the town. The wind is picking up here, and it is kind of gray. So let me get to the point here, and maybe get a little closer. So, all right, so another good thing is to go pound in the streets. So basically, I remember we went to the Holiday Inn Express, we went to Cracker Barrel, I didn't like the name of that, we went to Denny's, and a lot of these, they did have host positions. This is, like I said, no call center, so I'm having to adjust a little bit. But I ended up putting in like 6 applications one day, and the first interview I got is from that day pounding the pavement. Now, that's a general attack plan. But then on another level, looking at it as a spiritual journey, you want the work situation to fall second behind your spiritual journey. So the spiritual journey thing, I still wanted to find my way to build around Sedona. That was the best plan I could come up with, is build a way, because Sedona is expensive. Go back to my episode 1 of Sedona Diaries. Sedona is expensive. So my plan of attack was to come back, like go to Flagstaff and come back in spurts. Unless I found another way, which my man Mark is a beast. And we'll get to him later. So I'm like, okay, on that note, where can I go next? What can I do? Flagstaff? Is it Flagstaff? What's going to be the spiritual move? What's the spiritual growth move for me? So on that tip, my second day here, about 3 people came to me, random events. And I looked at it as synchronicity because they all, all right, so I ran out of space, ran out of film, so I had to re-up. So, but where I did leave off is, first priority was Sedona, as far as I'm on my job hunt, trying to sustain, find a way to be, so that I can actually have enough money to where I can settle in to a town until I get somebody to train me in camping. I don't want to just go out there and not know the fundamentals and, you know, lose out that way. So I am going to find someone to train me in camping for at least 2 days. I know the fundamentals. Then, man, it's wide open at that point. I'll be living in the wild. I'll meet campers. I bet you the spiritual situation will pop faster. But anyways, Sedona's #1 priority because that's the original thought. Grand Canyon started popping off as far as synchronicity goes and bumping into conversations and, you know, things that just lead to Grand Canyon out of nowhere. Okay, so I was taking an application. Also at the shelter, they have a bulletin board that lists jobs. They get it from Craigslist, so we always, you know, I bounce back and forth between Craigslist and their board to get information. And the Radisson was hiring for a front desk clerk, and I, you know, went out there one day to pick up the application. the next day I went to take it back, and their bus line is called the Mountain Line, not the Mountain Lion, the Mountain Line, with a picture of a mountain lion on the bus. So the bus driver, he missed the stop, and I'm like, hey, it'd be nice if you dropped me off at the Radisson, because the stop was before the Radisson. And he was like, yo, sorry, I can't. In Flagstaff, the bus stops is dang near a mile apart. Literally, you got some stroking to do if you miss the bus stop. It's not like a city, a block or two, shoot, even 3. Nah, you walking. So anyways, I was a little heated, of course, because he kind of did it flippantly. But at the end of the day, I was like, all right, then maybe I was, maybe on a synchronistic tip, I would have never came this way. So now that I'm going this way, maybe I'll bump into something that I wouldn't normally bump into. So come to find out, walking up there that way, the headquarters for the place that hires a great deal, I want to say majority, but I'm going to say a great deal of the hiring out at the Grand Canyon, they actually are located next door to the Radisson Inn where I was taking my application back to. But I would have never known, because I was coming from the other side, I was going to the door and back to the bus stop. I would have never looked like down and seen the office is called Xanterra. So coming up that way, I was like, hey, boom, all right, synchronicity is in full effect. How can I take advantage? Remember, online I put in at least 3 applications, one for front desk, one for host, and one for cashier. I think I might have put an emergency one in for housekeeper online. So okay, I can come here and follow up my application. So I go in, ask around, find out where the office is, and synchronicity has it that a woman is at the front desk who understands synchronicity, and she was kind. So she I got a nice little flow glower golden glow with me. So and so does she. So I asked her about my application. She informed me that I was actually at the wrong office. I needed to be talking with the human resources in the Grand Canyon, but she did provide me their number directly to human resources at the Grand Canyon. Boom, I did not have that. So that was the number 1 come up. So then I'm in awe. Well, what do you do? And she said they deal with the Grand Hotel, I think, and the railroad. There's a railroad that goes from Flagstaff to Grand Canyon, called the Grand Canyon Rail or something of that nature. I'm paraphrasing. So anyways, she informs me also that they had a fair the same day that I was there. And I was like, yeah, I heard, but I had already filled out 3 applications online. Little did I know they was hiring straight up at the fair. But most job fairs I go to, you fill out a bunch of applications, basically. That's all you do, is you fill out a bunch of applications. So I had already covered that. I figured I could put in more applications, focus on like doing my video work, and spread myself more efficiently around. But as we were talking and she was telling me this, the people that were doing the job fair were coming coming back from the job fair. So I had a one-on-one with the people holding down the job fair. Bam, synchronicity in full effect. So, all right, quick D, take advantage of this. And without trying to be selfish, you know what I'm saying, without overbearing. So, end up talking to the head of the HR. She said, you can fill out an application now, but I was on a schedule. At the shelter, you had to be back at between 4 and 5 o'clock. So I'm on a schedule to get back. So I asked if I could fill it out and bring it tomorrow. She said, no. But then my original lady at the desk, who understands synchronicity, she was like, yeah, he could bring it in tomorrow and I'll forward it to you. The human resources from the Grand Canyon said, cool, that is cool. So then I'm like, well, can I get your number to follow up the application? You have a card or whatever. She wrote down her phone number. Can you tell me a list of jobs that are open so I can be accurate with my, with how I'm aiming my application? She wrote it down, handwritten a list and everything. It seemed like an open opportunity. It didn't seem like a closed It didn't seem like a deflection. Didn't seem like a see through you. It seemed like a good connection. So then I came back the next day, turned in my application, and the lady was like, "Isn't that ironic how you came in and they came right up the stairs? I think that's good." And I said, "Little do you know that I would have never bumped into here unless the bus driver missed the stop and I had to come from the other side to the Radisson." She was like, "Uh-huh." So anyways, for those in the know of how synchronicity flows, that put Grand Canyon back up in the front because it has the most hits. I haven't heard anything. There's only 1 or 2 jobs at Sedona, the Enchantment Resorts in Sedona. Even though it's right there in Sedona, and Sedona is what prompted me here. I know there could be a lot of spiritual value in the Grand Canyon, and it can help me with the money flows too. But so with Sedona, so that's not the point. The energy seems to be pushing me towards Grand Canyon. I'm still listening, but I do have something to sink my teeth into with Grand Canyon and make something happen with a little proactiveness. So, and that's more of my style anyway. I like to be proactive. Also at the shelter, yeah, you got to be in from 4 to 4:30, but there's a group of clients, that's what we call ourselves, clients at the shelter, called the transitional clients. And they are the ones that looking for jobs seriously, not on any alcohol, not on any drugs, and they're making a serious effort to get out the shelter. They get to come in anytime they want to, and you know, they get to sleep in a little later because they get you up at 5:30 in the morning, promptly. You know what I mean? You got an hour to get out of bed, so still 6:30, promptly you up. I don't got to do that no more because I made the transitional program. It's starting to rain a little harder out here, and I pretty much covered everything I wanted to get to. I got an interview. Today's Friday. I forgot the date, the 28th, something like that. Friday though. And I got an interview on Monday, and I have an appointment for a temporary agency as far as filling in clerical positions as well. That's the filling the time. The interview on Monday is for the Holiday Inn Express for front desk, which I'm going to go through for B plans, but my A plan is pretty much Grand Canyon. I'm going to have faith that the synchronicity was something was behind it. And I don't want to take any energy away from it, like worrying. So I'm gonna pretend, which is pre-tendencies, to so I'm going to pre-tendency to let that happen. I'm gonna expect that to happen. I'll look at this, see if I missed anything. But that's my long catch up. I'm sorry it took so long for me to find a spot. I just actually came out here for a walk. I was like, this would be a good spot to do my Flagstaff intro. So 1 was in Sedona, the hotel room, explaining my trip from Raleigh to Sedona. 2 was in Sedona, the Chimney Rock Trail. 3 was actually, I'm in Flagstaff already chilling. I bumped into Buffalo Park, and we did me and my friend Mark and Randy did a trail video there. Then this one. Next, I don't know exactly what's next, but in the future I did meet a guy named Mark, and I told you he's going from Kentucky to California up to Washington and back down. He plans so far to stay somewhere in New Mexico or Denver at the end of his trip and settle down. But he has a numerous amount of ways to survive, and I'm gonna try to get him an interview on Uvu or Skype. And get you some good information. Now, get you some goodies, and I want to have it on tape so I can go back and look to it for my dang on self. Some experiments to try to get freer and freer. You know, that's what the spiritual journey is about on a minimal budget, to see really how free you are. You know what I'm saying? And when the more free you are, the more you can make $1 into $15. The more you can make $20 into $100. Holla at your boy. This is Delano signing off. Easy Star Variety Society. Sedona Diaries. Peace.